Very kind of you. The semis for NBA and NHL playoffs have arrived. We discussed our takeaways thus far. The 2024 MLB season turned a month old. Aw. And we talk about what we've seen. And new segment alert. Whoop, whoop. Cue the tease music. It'd be McDonald's up in here because it smells like Friday. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Box scores and bourbon.
Look at the box scores.
Box scores
and bourbon.
We check each other's box scores and scores online.
baseball. Box scores.
So football, baseball, basketball, soccer, hockey.
Box scores and bourbon.
The Knickerbockers of New York are doing something special on the big stage, and it's what's happening behind the scenes and on the court that I want to discuss. When is James Dolan going to extend Tom Thibodeau? Since last summer, 5 NBA head coaches have been extended, to include most recently Jason Kidd. And Tom Thibodeau deserves his flowers. This man has pulled the most storied sports franchise out of the murky depths of embarrassment, like Atreyu rescuing Artex from the swamps of sadness. And we haven't seen coaching like this on the Knicks sideline since Pat Riley back in the 90s, and even well before then when Red Dirt Road Holtzman was at the helm in the 60s and 70s. And rest assured, if Thibodeau is not extended, then this process back toward excellence will not continue, which leads me to on the court. Thibodeau lately has come under fire for the amount of minutes that his starters have been on the court. Yes, Brunson and Hart have averaged over 40 minutes, and Onyenyobi and DiVincenzo have averaged just outside of that mark. But NBA pundits and experts are thrashing Thibodeau for what? For playing his dudes like the grown men they are? Sure, there's 48 minutes in regulation, but this is a banged-up squad in the middle of a seemingly historic playoff run. Now, Big Tom seems to have unlocked something with these Nova Knicks, and I hope the league catches on soon because I've enjoyed watching these dudes play like coaches' kids, busting it out from whistle to whistle. Now I'm gonna bring in my co-host Manny, aka the marvelous Mr. Mazel Tov. We're gonna ring in.
Where did that come from? I didn't know that
our
was
episode. Hey, that's a new nickname. That's your nickname.
Okay.
Just get used to it. When I'm reading the monologue, I'm bringing you back with a nickname.
What is it? The marvelous.
Let's cheers ourselves in.
Cheers, everyone.
It's the marvelous Mr. Mazel Tov.
Got it.
Yep.
I won't.
Instead of the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Yeah. I watched that game last night, and I heard one, just going back to what I was saying at the top, was I don't understand why everyone's like, oh, you can't play these guys that much. That's why they get hurt. No, these guys aren't used to playing this much because they're not conditioned to play a full season. They're not even conditioned to play most of a game. And so and I remember this talk, when was it? The last time we were on, someone had mentioned if Joel Embiid goes and plays for Thibodeau in New York, then, maybe that's what they said that would destroy Embiid. I think that's what Embiid needs.
He needs to be pushed.
I think Embiid needs a coach who's not just gonna push him, but who can unlock a way for him to be like, hey, why don't you better condition yourself? You can better train this way. You can better do this or that. I don't know who's doing that in New Orleans, but I mean, this was the most I've seen Zion play since the day he was born.
That is true. He had
so
the best season
I
yet.
feel like he really did. Anthony Davis played over 70 games. He played more games
I
than
don't
LeBron
think
did
that has
this
anything to
season.
do with conditioning. I think it honestly was the fact that they wanted to be eligible for awards.
No. What I'm saying is, and maybe I'm saying the fact that they were so healthy. So either you were gaslighting everybody,
Which is most likely
saying you were hurt and you really weren't hurt.
I buy that more.
And then all of a sudden this came out and said, oh, okay, hey, guess what? I drank from the fountain of youth. Thanks, Ponce de Leon. And so now I'm all better. Or Jalen Brunson left in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Didn't play the second
That's right.
quarter. and then he Willis Reeds himself back into the game in the second half, and then he just goes off.
Yeah.
The dude just goes off. The dude was playing. I think he was playing with a broken finger. He had bandages on his
No,
finger.
he
He
has
was
a
just
messed up
playing.
knee. As much as I
No, he had bandages on his
Oh
hand.
yeah, well, that's probably because he got a paper cut or something. But as much as I see where you're coming from, I don't think I can agree too much with that. I think the Knicks they're so thin on their depth that they're having to play their players that much, and I think we're watching them slowly beat their bodies up to the point where if they win this series, which is round 2, they won't have enough left in the tank to be really competitive, and they really need everybody to be at 100% with how things are looking, and them whoever wins that matchup going up against the Celtics. I don't think it's maybe it's they're finding the coach is finding that fire in them to be able to push themselves that far, but at the same time, I don't think they have a choice, and I think they're beating their bodies up in the process, and I don't think that's sustainable
Yeah.
for these playoffs. It's too strenuous of
I'm
a
not.
playoff
Yeah.
season or playoffs, whatever you want to call them, but I don't think that's a choice. I don't think they're wanting to do that.
Hmm. No, and I mean, it's not. I don't think it's so much of a choice. I think if you had a healthy bench, I think if if all your stars were healthy, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be doing this. I mean, I don't think, you know, I mean, I think I honestly all of these injuries probably help DiVincenzo the most because he's getting the most minutes at a premium
Yeah.
position, and he's playing lights out
Yeah.
right now. Which is, I mean, honestly, I mean, it's like, and he's like the little brother when you know when Brunson and Hart were at Villanova, and he was just redshirted
Yeah.
on the bench, just watching them play. Oh, I'm gonna be like Big Brother one day, and then now he gets to play with Big
That is
Brother.
true.
So
Well,
yeah, so I it
speaking of the Knicks, we have before we jump into what's going on with this series, we have to really recap what happened last series because we've been gone since they've wrapped up the
mhm,
previous series that they were in against the
yeah
76ers, which ended up
yeah
being as anticlimactic as it could have been for as much hype as the media tried giving them. When the Sixers stole
yeah
game 5, everybody thought it was they would just
hmm
skip game 6, and game 7 was the next game for all the marbles. Everybody was acting like the 76ers were 100% in it, and they really never were. Even that game 6, I don't think it was
yeah
as close as the score even reflected. That thing, they were never in that series at all. I think they just happened to get a few couple lucky bounces or a couple lucky baskets to
hmm
end up winning 2 games. But there was no reason for them to even be in 2 games in the game 6
yeah
at all.
yeah
I don't know how much of that series you watched
yeah.
because there was a lot of good basketball.
No, I watched the tail end of it.
Yeah.
It was because my schedule just kind of worked out where I was able to watch the last 2 or 3 games. But I remember what was it? The Knicks went up 3-1,
Yep.
and then they went back to New York, and then they blew it,
Yep.
and then they had to win it in
Yep.
Philly. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's great. I mean, at least you closed it out. It's at least a little bit, and and I made a comment too back in the first round where Philly just seemed to be just where Jalen Brunson's family's from, because it was just all it was mini MSG out there. They were just chanting Brunson for
Yeah.
MVP.
Did you see the
So I thought, I mean,
did you
that's not a great look
Yeah,
for
did you see how
Philly.
game 6 the like the ownership or whatever top tier leadership ended up buying like 2,000 tickets to give to first responders just to fill up the stadium with more Phillies fans over Knicks fans because they embarrassed them the previous game. That was
I didn't see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
I didn't
tell.
notice that.
So I think it was game 4. I forget how the order happened. I think
Mhm,
game 4 would have been because Knicks were the higher seed. Game 5,
mhm.
I don't know. So Philly's
Yeah,
previous home game had more Knicks fans in it, and I'm forgetting which game that was. So
yeah,
the next game that they had,
yeah.
they bought tickets for the
Mhm.
76ers fans so that they could fill up the stadium with Sixers fans so they wouldn't be embarrassed by the fact that Knicks fans are louder.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
goes to show,
yeah,
Phillies fans are a different breed, first off, like in general. But one thing that I
yeah,
can give the Philly fan base is that they know when their team is good and when they know they're going to be wasting their money. And the only reason that that stadium was filled up was because they gave away free tickets. They didn't show up the previous game because they know what
Yeah.
that series was going to look like. It was a crap series that they
Yeah.
should have never been in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and the playoff format is two
2-2.
home,
Yeah.
2 away, 1-1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So that would have been game
Which is just
4.
so dumb. Just go 2-3-2. I don't what are we doing
No,
here?
I like it this
I don't
way.
like all this
I do like this
I
format
don't. I
because
hate it.
you make it a series of 4, and then if you end up defending home court, which you should do in every single situation, then it becomes best of 3, and then you
Yeah.
still have a home court advantage for the better
Yeah.
team. I like that.
I guess so, because then the higher seed still has the
Yeah, 'cause you
advantage
have
of
2 at
having,
home.
okay, well,
Exactly.
there's 2 and 2, and okay, if it's even, okay, well, the advantage goes to us. We have 2
Exactly.
more home games.
So I do like that.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't mind it so much if the NBA they didn't cosplay like a bunch of tough men, and then we need
Build a
extra
bunch
days of
crybabies.
rest because planes are hard. It's hard to sit on an airplane.
Well,
Whatever.
I'll
Get out
tell
of
you from
here.
personal experience, it is not the most pleasant thing to fly.
You're not flying to Germany, Manny. Okay, these people, they're flying 3 hours away.
Might as well be flying to
Okay?
Germany. By the time they go back and forth, they fly around the world in a season.
We got Boston and Cleveland. We got the Knicks and the Pacers. Okay, Indiana and New York is not that far away from each other. Okay,
Now,
it's not. All
well,
right.
I guess the previous one was no better
You
because
can-
New York and Philly were probably like 2-3 hours away from each other.
Look, Kevin's mom drove with John Candy and his polka people, back to Chicago. Okay, so like you can still, I hate this whole like, oh, it's extra.
You're gonna have to
Saturday,
enlighten me on your
but-
metaphor or your reference right there, because again, like we always go over
Home Alone.
Home Alone. That
Home
Kevin.
Alone.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah,
movie.
when she's at the airport and he's like, we're going to Chicago if you want to hop in with us. So
Yes, I do remember.
yeah,
That.
he went from Midwestern to Polish
In like
real
a day.
quick.
Anyway,
So that series closed out.
the Magic Cavs series
the Magic Cavs series, just like I thought it would.
went 7.
And I'm gonna try to tell this to you face to face ish, okay? Because you didn't seem to really understand my reasoning and my logic in the text message.
I still disagree.
Okay, the reason you didn't
No,
understand.
I
what
understood.
was saying,
I just
okay?
go ahead. The floor is yours.
No, just like it makes sense because the Magic had such a low net rating throughout the entire. It was like positive. It was 0.3 in the positive, meaning that like they're not going to blow anybody out because their defense is awful. And so, but if they do get a big lead, you got to hope and pray their defense does hold, because if it doesn't hold, all it's going to be is another close game. And I didn't see it's not sustainable to be able to do that, because while, I mean, like I said before the playoffs started, like Magic was my second team. I don't mind Cleveland. But it was one of those matchups where it's like, okay, well, let's just see where this goes. This, both of these squads are like, okay, well, these are just like, the two junior varsity teams that made it to the playoffs. Let's just see where they are. And to me, my gut was, because Cleveland just seems to be just a little bit more electric, because of Donovan Mitchell. I'm like, it's gonna teeter toward Cleveland for me, in a lot of it because of just the Magic were a great team, but it was a lot of luck. It's like a Major League Baseball team making the playoffs with a negative run differential. It's like, well, how did that happen? How on earth do you have a winning record and throughout the course of the whole season you didn't score more runs than anybody? Isn't that the name of the game? So it's that's what
I see where you're coming from. I get that reference. I think you're overanalyzing it. These guys, their roster was the youngest roster. If you take out, I can't remember his name, which is like 40. Their roster is like averaging 22 to 24 years old. I think there's just inexperience and not knowing how to.
No, I know it is. I think for whatever reason, whether it if be it youth, whatever it was, I'm just saying that's how the season played out. That's how it played out. And so, like, there's no. I mean, you can't control the dudes. The average age of the team. You can't. I mean, that's beyond their
No,
control.
but you can control the
So
experience
I'm
on the
just
roster.
saying you can't. But they didn't have a bad roster. It was just young, and then I'm just saying that as they go on, that's so I made the JUCO compare or the junior varsity comparison.
Yeah,
because they're so young. They're just young.
Mm-hmm.
And they're learning how to play together. They seem to work well as a squad,
Yeah,
as a unit. Good on them. They're only going to be better next year.
Yeah, they'll be better next year.
And they're going to continue to this rise out of obscurity, just like the Knicks have.
Yeah.
So, but I did enjoy that Cavs Magic series. I really did.
Yeah.
And then you had the Mavs. You know, I do think it's funny that the Mavs advance, and then they're like, "All right, Jason Kidd, here's your extension." So
I mean, he's consistently pushing them through the playoffs. There's not a reason to not. I mean, last year they didn't do too good, but they've consistently been competitive and moving along in the playoffs. So I don't see what the gripe is. I'm surprised.
Yeah, no, I've never had an issue with Jason Kidd as a head coach at all.
Initially. I did initially. I haven't seen too many players translate to be good at to a good of a head coach in the NBA. So that in the first year to 2 years that he was there, because I think this is his 4th season there, he didn't look like he knew what he was doing. I think he was consistently looking at it from a player's perspective instead of strategic coaching's perspective. But he settled it.
Yeah, because he started. Who did he start with? Was it the Bucks? Was that his first head coaching gig?
I think so.
Or was it the Lakers?
No, he never. I don't think he ever coached the Lakers.
He not coached the Lakers. I remember he was up for one of the one of the times before, after LeBron fired someone else. But I think his first head coaching gig was with the Bucks. No, it was the Nets, wasn't it?
He was the head coach of the Bucks in 14 through 18, and then assistant coach in 19 to 21 with the Lakers, and then head coach of Dallas since 21.
He was never a head coach with the Nets?
No, not that I see.
Why am I thinking
I don't know who you're thinking of.
Why am I thinking
Oh, yeah. You're right. Before that, he was a head coach of the Nets. 13, 14.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, he got his start somewhere, and I think that was during the time when the Nets were building that super squad. And then they had...
I don't think so. This was 13, 14.
That wasn't...
No. He was there 10 years ago.
Oh, you're right. No, that super squad was like 2017.
Yeah, that super squad just disappeared last year. They were still a thing last year.
Yeah.
I
was like,
But
anyway, no, that Mavs series was good.
Was it?
Just watch.
Was it? Pause. Was that Mavs series good? I need you to tell me now because I enjoyed it. I loved the teams. How it was constantly. There was at no point at all points in the game. It seemed like there was constantly a double-digit lead, and the momentum just kept swinging back and forth. And one team would go cold, and then the other team would get 15 points ahead, and it was back and forth. And I like that kind of game because it takes a lot of grit, a lot of to have it in you to stay in the game. I like it. I don't think you like that.
I didn't. I mean, okay, it was fine. Okay, I have a hard time watching Luka, and I have a hard time taking him seriously. I just do. Luka reminds me of Eminem's character in 8 Mile, except trying to be an aspiring rapper underground. He's trying to take over, the ghetto courts of 8 Mile. He
does not play that role. He just looks like an average dude. Yeah.
You look at him.
Yeah.
And I don't expect much from you. That's like 8 Mile. I don't expect much from whatever. I don't know what his name was. Roger Bernard. I don't know. Whatever the hell. I don't expect much.
Which is why his game is so impressive because he doesn't give you the image of a guy that would dominate on the court. But yet he has since he was 15.
But it just, but so much of that team relies on him giving 110%.
That is true.
And that's up to Luka if he wants to give 110%. Because I heard somewhere I can tell you if the Mavs lost just by looking at the box score. And if Kyrie scored more than Luka did, the Mavs lost. That's it. So and so it really just comes down to Luka if he wants to try. And I'm just watching this guy. And I'm like, he just doesn't even look like he wants to be here.
Well, he's hurt.
He just doesn't. He's always
No,
hurt.
he's hurt this year.
Always. Go play for Thibodeau.
No, he's hurt this
Go
year.
play for Thibodeau.
He's hurt. He's like legitimately hurt, and he's struggling because he's hurt. Looking at this game, this second round, he pushed through it last round, and Kyrie kind of stepped up, and he's been doing this thing where he's averaged like 6 points in the first half, and then he averages like 25 points in the second half. Like he settles into the offense and sees where they need him. A la what you want Kawhi to be doing. You want him to settle in and see what kind of player he needs to be. But anyways, Luka's struggling.
No, but Luka needs to be the star.
He is
Luka
the star.
Needs to be the star. He needs to play like it. He needs to play like it. Like you should need a carrot dangled in front of him. Well,
he's
to
hurt.
Do it. He needs
the carrot is health right now. So, well, I will tell you this about, and I've been noticing this since round one. The Dallas is in trouble because of what they have as defenders or as bigs in their offense and defense. Right now, they're relying on I think it's Likely or Lively. He's a rookie, and he's their starting center right now. And that guy, the first round, he looked like he wasn't at all times he wasn't aware where the ball was or where the offense or defense was moving, and they were blowing past him or he wasn't getting rebounds, and people were boxing him out very easily. He's a great offensive big, but if they're relying on a rookie, they're in big trouble, and they are so far in trouble. Just one game. It's one game. I get it. You settle into the series, but they're in trouble if they can't keep up with OKC. OKC knows what they're doing. They have a good flow, and if you're relying on a rookie center to kind of be that force in the middle, that's kind of, I don't think that's a good strategy.
Yeah, let's see how it works, Cotton. Yeah, Derek Lively is his name. Yeah, but yeah, I just. So I mean that series is done. So let's just move on.
Whoa! What I just say? It's one game. You just hate Dallas because you hate Luka.
I know. Let's move on from the first round because I have enjoyed watching the series against OKC. Okay. I have, and then I have to laugh. Okay, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was SGA. I don't know, but when they came down and they swiped Luka's eye. I laughed so hard. I thought that was and he just like, my eye. Whatever. What happened to the days when Allen Iverson's mouth got busted open and he closes his mouth and he's swallowing blood the entire game? Now we got guys because your mascara got smeared. And now you're like, my eye.
I will be the freaking advocate for Dallas and Luka right now because Holmgren did the same crap in the same game. Kyrie swiped the ball out of his hands, and this man threw himself up like he got smacked in the face, and then he fell, and he stayed down for a good 5 minutes.
Well, that's what Halliburton did last night against the Knicks.
I don't understand.
And they called a foul, but they called it. I think they called it on Josh Hart. Josh Hart was driving to the bucket. And when it touched him, Halliburton's like, like it's like what? And then Rick Carlisle's going to complain about the officiating. The officiating was terrible for your benefit. It was awful. And then they called double dribble. I'm like, what double dribble? There was no double dribble. You can watch it live. You saw there was no double dribble. My wife was sitting next to me. She goes, I don't know anything about basketball, but I can tell you right now, I know that wasn't double dribble. I'm just like, it was. I don't understand. That game last night was infuriating.
It was the epitome. It was like the refs were pushing the boundaries to see how much BS of a game they could call. All playoffs has been this way. They've been crap.
Yeah. Someone needs to check those refs though. The guy that called double dribble when he damn well knows there was no double dribble. Someone needs to check his bet online stats.
Check his bank account
and see who he was. Yeah. I think he talked to Ipe before the game, and he's like, "Hey, I got some of Shohei's money. You wanna use it toward a parlay?" It was so bad. I'm like, how is it this bad? And then Rick Carlisle gets ejected. I thought he just left. Like honestly, I was just watching. I was like, oh, Rick just left with like 20 seconds.
He's done.
And then they say he got ejected. I was like, oh, okay, all right, whatever. Okay, that makes more sense, I guess. I thought he was. I'm done. Whatever. Y'all can follow me if you want. This game's over.
Players are coming. Let's go.
Yeah, whatever. I had enough of this.
Are you?
Which honestly,
are you any concerned about how the Pacers are approaching this whole reffing thing?
I mean, only for Carlisle.
Well, I don't know if you saw the
So-
report. I was listening to Sports Talk this morning, and the Pacers after the game stayed up all night and pulled out. I think they said 49 clips of missed calls by the reffing and sent it to the league.
Pacers need to get some
And then
sleep.
yeah,
Y'all need to go to bed.
focus on your
Y'all need to go to bed. You get a game.
focus on your
You got a game in
offense.
2 days.
What the hell are we doing? Analyzing freaking that is cry. What is your go-to phrase? Crybaby something. Crybaby.
Crybaby
Yeah, there you
Fury.
go. That
Yeah.
they're crybaby furying
I
it.
what I didn't understand is with I think what was like it was in the middle of the fourth quarter, and then Carlisle just takes Halliburton out for no reason. And Halliburton's down the court. I don't think he was in foul trouble. Like he wasn't there for like a good 3 minutes. I'm like, you have a chance to win this game. Why are you taking your second best player out of the game? I don't understand what's happening here. I don't. It's like, where did he go? I was like, it was not to make it smaller. He's already small. So I'm like, I just like put him back in. I mean, it was interesting because that was like one of the worst defensive performances by an NBA team this playoffs.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
What was 130 points? That's ridiculous.
130 points on 92 possessions.
Jesus Christ.
That is just like that. I mean, but it was permission, but it was also the Pacers couldn't get a board. I think I could count on one hand in the second half alone where they got a rebound. On one hand, a rebound. That was it. And they're like, oh, the Pacers, bread and butter is the breakaway. Well, it's really hard to do that if you can't get a rebound. Like if you're not going to get a defensive board, and then they toss it down, how are you going to make that happen? How are you going to make what? It's just called away. You're just going to go away. Like that's what you did.
Defense.
That's what the defense did. They just went
They're
away.
Just setting up
they just
their
went
defense
away
before the other team has the ball. They're on it. They are on it with their defense. Screw the rebound. Get a defense.
Crazy, but yeah. But I gotta tell you though, watching Josh Hart out there is so much fun.
He played the entire game.
I loved watching this dude. This dude has played every minute of every game, I think, except for 2 where he's played 46 minutes. Like this, like he is all over. And the longer the game goes on, the more energy he has.
That's good.
He's
also young.
It's fantastic. He's extremely young. Yeah. But
I remember when I could wake up and run 5 miles when I was 20.
Oh my God. Get over yourself. Jeez. I remember waking up and being like, why would I run 5 miles? This is stupid.
So let me ask you, are we concerned about either one of the matchups that are down 2-0? Because right now the Knicks are up 2-0 on the Pacers, and the Nuggets are down 2-0 as well. Are we concerned about that?
I'm less concerned about the Nuggets. Okay. I'm more concerned about the Pacers. Because if the Pacers can't beat a banged up Knicks team, like if you give up 130 points in regulation, like that was your opportunity to win.
Well, yeah.
Your opportunity was when the Knicks' best player wasn't on the court for the majority of the first half. That was your chance.
How are you going to say that? But you can't say the same thing about the Nuggets missing the opportunity to steal a win whenever Gobert wasn't on the court as well. He wasn't there for game 2, and they still got blown out. The concerning thing is that Denver is getting blown out. Both of their losses was double digits, 20, 30 points. At least the Knicks game is 9 points.
Yeah, the Knicks and Pacers game, even the first 2 games just seem a lot further away than it was. And I know that the Nuggets got blasted away. I'm not discrediting the fact that Ant-Man and Cat are just are putting on a show. Okay, they put on a light show in Denver, and now they get to go to Minnesota and hopefully not have to witness the next light show. I think it had something to do with the fact that maybe the rest kind of didn't help them at all. I don't know.
If they're sitting there getting affected by the refs' bad calls, they're not gonna have
no, not the refs. The rest.
Rest.
Maybe the rest got to them because even in that Lakers series, it was a lot of adrenaline. I mean, even when they were down by 20 points against the, was it game 3 they were down?
Yeah.
But with game 2 or 3 they were down by 20. It was game 2 because that's when they was it Jamal Murray hit that game winning shot. That it was even it was just like boom 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 boom. Let's keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then now you have a little bit of a, it's not quite Patrick Beverly, but Jamal Murray just making a fool of himself.
Yeah. You mean you're
Uh,
referring to the fact that he's throwing crap onto the court like a little 5-year-old?
yeah, he threw a towel.
He threw
Okay,
twice. He
like
threw a towel and then he threw like his heating pad at the ref directly.
his heating pad. I know he
Unacceptable.
did. He did.
Unacceptable, Murray. See, this is what, like,
Unacceptable.
I thought Denver was well coached, and I thought they, for how many times they've come back, second half closed out closed a 20-point gap in the score. I thought
Yeah.
they were more well coached, well oiled machine, and I don't know if the Timberwolves are just breaking them to the point that they're having such ridiculous actions on the side on the when they're not even in the game, but that. I feel like him doing that kind of paints a bigger picture that I think the Wolves or the Timberwolves are actually getting into their heads. Because
They
there's
are.
no reason
They are
for
getting to their
Murray.
heads.
Murray
They
is
are.
not a scrub. He knows what he's doing. For him to do that kind of
Yeah.
thing, I think they're in their head. I
Yeah.
think they're in panic mode. So I would say I'm more concerned about Denver, just for those kind of
Yeah.
reasons.
I just look at the pedigree of
Yeah,
Denver. This isn't their first rodeo. It's not.
said the guy at his second
And
rodeo.
I
I said
what's
the guy
that?
at the second rodeo. They haven't been good forever. They only had a good 1 year last.
Yeah, they haven't been, but recently, they figured it out. They have arguably the one of the best player in the league right now, who just won his third MVP in
4 years.
15
Yeah.
seconds. So I'm not so. If the Nuggets lose tomorrow,
Well, they're done.
then I'll be concerned.
What do you mean? That
Yeah,
at 3-0? Yeah, I would hope you're a little concerned if they're down 3-0.
I'll be concerned then. I just don't think that it's going to be 3-0. I
I don't
honestly
think so
think
either.
I think Denver's going to take the next two. I honestly think
Yeah,
so.
so I will say I'm concerned because of the things that I just stated, but the media is making it seem like they're done. There's a reason you play 7 games.
The media hypes everything because they need
Well, yeah,
something to
right.
hype.
But they're acting like Denver's like cooked. There's a reason you play 7 games, and it's not been that long since Phoenix was up 2-0 against the Bucks in the finals, and they never won a game again. So
Yeah,
I will put that as a caveat that it's not. There's
yeah,
precedent for teams not coming back from 2-0. It's not unforeseeable. It's like
yeah,
uncircumable or whatever. You can't. It's not something that you can't get past. But I am concerned because
yeah,
of the way they're losing. Because not only are they getting blown out against the Lakers series, those games were too
yeah,
close for comfort. Against a play-in team, they
yeah,
were. I
yeah,
get the clutchness of having a buzzer beaters by
yeah,
Murray twice to win the game, but at the same time,
yeah,
the defending champions shouldn't be at the point where they're hitting buzzer beaters to win against
yeah,
an 8 or 9 seed. That is not acceptable.
yeah, yeah. And I say rest, but I mean the T Wolves had more rest
Yeah,
than the Nuggets did. But but I, it, after tomorrow night, if if the Nuggets lose, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I would be concerned if I'm a Nuggets fan. Would I panic right now? No,
no,
I'm not because these guys have
yeah.
been there before.
Well, they've never been down 2-0, but yeah,
They've never been down 2-0, but they've been in the big spot before. They've been in the big situation. They know what they're doing, okay? And like let's just give it some time. Let's just let them go to Minnesota. And then honestly, I kind of look at it like in hockey, like the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. It really doesn't matter if you're the home team
no, it doesn't.
anymore. It just doesn't, because the Knicks are fun to watch, but it's not like they've been incredible at home in the playoffs. So it's I I kind of think the T Wolves were just playing with house money, and they were just amped up. They were really excited about what was going on, Ant-Man's been playing out of his. No one's playing more out of his. The two people playing out of their brains right now are Jalen Brunson and Anthony Edwards. They're the two people playing out of their minds right now. Like there's just not a care in the world. There's no one else on the court. Everyone else is JV.
Yeah.
Like it's just they are just straight balling right now, and no one cares. Well, I mean Derek White's balling too, but I just after tomorrow, if the Nuggets lose, then if I'm a Nuggets fan, I'll be like, yeah, I'm concerned.
Well,
Yeah,
that would put the
I'd probably think
not
this is
only
over.
that would put the Timberwolves at winning 7 games in a row. That's
It would.
that's
Yeah.
that almost unprecedented.
Yeah. And let's not forget. I mean, it's not like the Timberwolves have a a throwaway roster. Anyway.
No, they don't.
They don't. I mean, they're loaded, if not more loaded than the Nuggets are.
Yeah, probably.
So
but they built that team.
Yeah,
they've built that team right.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted well. They traded for players. They signed free agents. Like they did all the 3 big pieces that you need to do to build a team right.
Yeah, they did.
So yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Well,
but if you ask me who am I more concerned with, I'm more concerned with Indiana because I honestly don't know what's going on there. I just don't know because Knicks players keep dropping like flies, and then the Knicks just get better. Like the Knicks could have 4 men on the court, and they could probably still beat the Pacers. I just don't. It's just whatever's going on in New York. I will say this over the whole landscape of the NBA playoffs. I can say this. I've never, and I'm saying this now as Boston's down by 22 with 5 minutes left.
No, Jesus Christ.
Jesus couldn't help him right now. But I'll say this. This is what I love about being a fan of sports is we make these calls like, oh, Boston and Denver, absolutely. And then we get to the playoffs and it's like, is it going to be Boston? Is it going to be Denver?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know.
Shame on us, by the way.
And then
not really. Shame on
no,
us because we have been acting like the Timberwolves are scrubs when they've been good all year. We didn't give them enough credit.
I've never acted like they're scrubs.
Well, we acted like Denver was a guarantee in the
that
finals. We did do that.
I did say that, but I also said that it's a shame that the T-Wolves and Nuggets were going to have to face in the semis and not in the conference championship. Because I would have loved that series in the conference championship too. I'm loving this series now, even though Denver's getting their butt kicked. Yep. They're just getting waxed right now. Okay, well, we were wrong, but so far, I mean, it seems like it. But honestly, if I'm looking at it now, and I can see the way that this landscape is drawing itself up to be is that I can still see Boston going to the finals in the East.
Yeah.
If only because of Derek White playing with Brown and Tatum and just being lights out. And then it'd be between Minnesota and OKC in the West. I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be a really good matchup.
Yeah. That would be a good matchup.
Either one of those teams will match up really well against Boston.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
well, we're talking playoffs. So let's jump into the other league that has some intense playoffs going on right now.
Yeah. Oh man, did you watch that Panther Bruin match last night?
No, that one I missed.
Did you watch it?
No, I missed that one. There was too much going on in my life.
Oh man, that was like if you paid for a ticket to that game, you got the best game so far of this entire Stanley Cup playoffs. Yeah. With 10 minutes left in the third period, they just start throwing blows.
Yeah, I did see that.
And there were oh my goodness, what was it? Over the course of 3 minutes, there were 120 penalty minutes.
Yeah,
it was awesome. I loved every single second of it. My advice to either Boston or Florida is I would hope for the other team to score first, because whoever scores first is the one that ends up getting blown out that game anyway. So
let them score.
Word to the wise. Hey, if you're if if you're a goalie for Florida, for Boston, it's nothing.
Just a little
Just
oopsie.
let it go.
Just
Okay,
oops.
just I didn't see it. So and then you're on your way to win 5-6-1.
Yeah,
So
you'll blow them out.
yeah, that's a fun series. I love watching this Rangers Kane series.
Yeah.
Shesterkin is still, this dude's just unreal.
That series now,
He's unreal.
I'll give myself the credit that I'm keeping up with that series, and that is a good series. I am heartbroken about this last game that just happened, which was game 1, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Game 2.
Oh yeah, game 2.
Game
Yeah,
2.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Double overtime one.
Yep. That was
Yeah.
game 2. That was a heartbreaker. I watched all of that.
That was
game.
a phenomenal game.
It was, but it was
Yeah.
a sad ending because the Canes they weren't getting outmatched. They had a lot of shots on goal. They were doing the right things. They had power plays that they were missing opportunities on. They were being more strategic with their shots or whatever, not. And just one mistake, and I texted you that just one mistake cost them the game. One cross check put the Rangers in a power play, and the Rangers have been killing it in power play this year. And I think it was like 45 seconds into the power play, they won the game in double overtime. It sucks. It sucks to see, especially to go down 2-0 against that team.
Yeah. It sucks to miss it because my son came down and I had to go take care of him.
Shouldn't have missed it.
And then I come downstairs and I see a text from you like, wow. I'm like, what happened? And I knew you were talking about the Rangers again.
Yeah.
Because it was the only thing we were texting about. And I was like, what happened? And I go downstairs and I'm like, oh, well, I mean, I'm glad the Rangers won, but I missed it. I watched this whole game and I missed the game-winning shot in second overtime. But that's been a great matchup. A fun one for anyone who wants a high-scoring series. I encourage you, watch the Canucks and the Oilers. I think they both play with empty nets. Okay, I'm not even sure they have goalies. It's going to be 7-5, 6-5, 10-8. I mean, I can guarantee you this. If you're a betting man, I would take the over on the goals, okay? Because it's probably going to be that. All right, just take the over on the points, and you'll be fine in that series.
That's right.
And then the Stars, man.
Oh.
The Stars. Oh.
First off, before we jump into let me put the RIP to my poor Golden Knights messing that up. That sucks. It sucks.
If you're a Dallas fan, this must hurt.
Yeah.
This must hurt a lot.
Yes.
I mean, like if you're not only can your football team not win a playoff game, but you got Dallas definitely not going to make it past OKC. That's just not happening at all. and then you have the Stars who you go up 3-0 in the first period and then you lose.
That's rough.
You lose, and I texted you.
Yes, did.
I texted you.
You did.
I said it was 3-2, and I was like, the Avs are on the verge. Like verge only counts in horseshoes and
cornhole and horseshoes.
And then I was like, all right, whatever.
And then they made me look like what happened? 30 seconds into the third period.
Like 30 seconds after I text you that. Oh, look, 3-3. Look at that. I love it. So that's going to be a fun series because the Avs and the Stars are the two best teams in the Western Conference.
Yep.
And I'm hoping for a 7-game series, but I don't know if Dallas is going to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think they are.
What a tale of two.
They need to win a game.
What a tale of two different matchups, right? So the Rangers and the Canes have been close games because their goalies have been killing it. Anderson, even though he didn't get credit for the win, killed it too.
Yeah.
And then the Dallas is just like they're competitive, but for some reason they're just like sometimes feel like protecting the goal. Sometimes they'll just let a team score 3 goals on you. It's a crapshoot, and you don't know what you're gonna get with them.
Rangers just went up 2-1 in the beginning of the third period. Nice. Right. Or the middle of the third period. No, but it's honestly in the Stanley Cup Finals and the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's a tale of 4 cities, honestly.
It is.
You have one series that's back and forth. the whole game. You got that's the Canes range, like you say, and then you got the story of I hope I don't score first with Boston and Florida, and then you got the story of like where's our goalie with Edmonton and Vancouver, and then you go to Dallas and Colorado, and Dallas is like, oh wait, there's 3 periods to this. Oh damn, okay, I guess we should stay for the whole thing. Like it's like
God forbid overtime hits because
like,
then they don't know what the hell's going on.
Wait, there's more? They could be the NFL players. I didn't know overtime was a thing. What's an overtime?
Maybe it's like a Dallas thing. Maybe it's a Dallas thing. We don't know what the hell's going on in Dallas.
Oh man, Dak's out there as the center, and he's just like,
don't you
he's
bring
just
Dak
saying,
into this? It's not football season.
What
We're
was that
pretending
stupid
like-
thing he said? Here we go. He's just, here we go. Like the whole time, they're like, Dak, shut up.
Drive down the field, damn it.
Here we go. Home. We're going home now, CD. Okay, game's over. Come on, CD. We lost. Let's go.
We're going home. Here we go home. Here we go home. Well, that's enough playoffs.
No,
let's check.
These Stanley Cup playoffs are my favorites.
Yeah, let's check in on baseball.
But yeah, let's check in with baseball.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Finally, we're getting into the nitty-gritty of baseball when teams start to get lazy and teams start to get hot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes.
What have you been watching?
Who have I been watching?
Well, besides your Cubs, what have you been watching?
Oh, I just any game I can find. Honestly, I've been really, really fascinated by the Yankees. I had something in my throat. It came out Yankees. I meant to say Astros.
Oh.
But no, no, the Yankees, man. I mean, I'm not a Yankee fan, because
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I'm a believing man, so I don't really walk with Satan. But I do. I don't know how Yankee fans feel, but the Yankees look legit.
Ish.
They look. Is it true? Is it?
They just lost to the Astros.
Where the Yankees are actually going to do. Okay, I won't even. I won't even count that. The Astros are like Justin Verlander looked like. Justin Verlander looked like he came to the wrong game. He thought he was at the Old Timers Day, but he was actually at the real game.
Yeah,
like Verlander looked bad.
Yep. Well,
like
he lost.
Bad.
He officially took the loss on that 10-3 game yesterday, right? So yeah, it's not good.
Yeah,
and then they follow that up by losing 4-3. So what the hell's going on?
I'm surprised Kate Upton didn't leave him after that game. Like, yeah, you're old. Get away from me. So
he's actually.
I
said. She said, "Oh, you actually suck." No, I don't want to date you.
Yeah, you're gross. You're old man ball. It's like that scene from Big Daddy. He's got a 5-year plan. What is it? Don't die. He's like, you're old balls.
Oh,
but no, the Yankees, man. I look. We're a month into. We're like what 30, 39, almost 40 games into the season. Dude, they're 11 over 500
but they're also
right now.
second division.
Yeah, but that's Baltimore. Okay. I need you to recalibrate.
What my
success looks like as a Yankee.
What am I recalibrating? The goal is to win the division.
No, the goal is to win the World Series. Okay,
well, yes.
The goal is not to win the division. Okay, so you need to recalibrate what's going on as a Yankee fan. Be like, whoa, okay, well, you should just concede Baltimore's going to win the division. That's going to happen. Okay,
I mean, that was my prediction, so I did that a long time ago.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know why you're upset. I mean, they're only a half game out.
Well, I'm not.
And they have.
I mean, saying like it's
in the win column. The Yankees have more wins than they do. It's just Baltimore's games have been rained out, and so they haven't played. I think they would 24-12. So was that 36 games? They played 3 less games.
That's fair.
Than the Yankees have.
But they don't look bad when they play. So that's the concern. You have to go through your division.
Baltimore looks fantastic, except Except was it last night? Last night they almost lost it to the Nationals. They were up 3-1 in the ninth, and then they Kimbrel gives up a run, and then they bring Aiken. He gives up a run. It's 3-3. Then they go up by 2 runs in the 11th. Then they lose that lead, and then they go up by 2 runs again in the 12th, and they almost lost that. I'm like, come on.
That's called being clutch.
I mean,
I'm not a Baltimore fan, but that's called being clutch.
It's also called, we need a bullpen. That's what that's called.
True.
So they need. I wish every team was like the Rangers did last year, where in April or middle of May they just like, hey, Kansas City, give us Chapman. All right, here you go.
Yep.
All right. So and I'm not going to mention the trade because I know you got that coming up later, but I have been following the White Sox. I mean, dude,
why?
They're only 19 games under 500. So
they're getting there.
That's like so good. So good.
Okay.
No, what I've been keeping track of is run differentials.
Okay.
And so I'm a nerd that way. And the White Sox have the worst run differential, but they're tied with the worst record with the Rockies at 9-28. And I find it. I think it's funny because last episode I did a relegation bit on the pick of on the fix of 6.
That's right.
And I said White Sox need to be relegated for the Sacramento Kangaroos. I didn't even bring up the Rockies because I think we just all expect the Rockies to just be bad.
Yeah.
So there's no expectation in Colorado at all.
Just get
and then
stoned.
Miami, look, they got 10 wins. Wow. What happened?
I said the only expectation is to get stoned, but I forgot we're not supposed to say that anymore.
You can say what you want. That's fine.
You know what I've been watching? I've been watching? The A's. What the hell?
So the A's are not bad. They're not good. They're not good.
You put up 20 runs, but you're average-ish. You got a little win streak going. What? I can't tell what
they did that against the Marlins. Okay,
so?
They went 24 against the Marlins.
Well, they haven't been relegated yet, so they're still an MLB team. So I'm like, hey, let's see what happens. People keep doing these comparisons with Major League, the Indians from Major League, and it's like, the owner who wants to sell the team. So they build the team to just be awful. Yeah, the movie. Yeah, and then they built the team to be awful. And then you have the league's best closer. It's like, hey, why not be real life? Instead of Moneyball's not the true story. Major League is. That's right.
Major League's the true story.
That's right. That is the reality behind the A's. But now they're getting calls about their closer because that probably will happen. Their teams are reaching out about.
If I'm Oakland, I'm not moving that dude. I'm not moving him.
What has told you that they do anything that makes sense for the team besides move somewhere where they'll make money?
I'm saying if I was in charge, Oakland would be the best team in the league.
Well, also, if you were in charge, the A's would also not be moving to Vegas. So there's a lot of things that we would do differently if we were in charge of that team.
No. If I was in charge, the A's would be moving to Portland.
No.
That's right. Yeah. Be the battered bastards of baseball.
Yeah.
Let's roll that back. Let's run it back.
What I am also happy about, bring it back. Astros suck. Yay, everybody else. Screw the Astros. They have been the one team that consistently beats up on the Yankees in the playoffs, and they get their little hot streak going. No better day could be happening.
He's like, you know what a good year was? He's like, you know what a good year was? 2012 when Astros lost 100 games. Yeah. That was fantastic.
Exactly.
I'm telling. Look, they're not looking good at all. And I said this on our MLB preview, and you mocked me.
I did.
You mocked me, saying, "Oh, they'll figure it out." Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so. I mean,
but that is the one thing that I'm happy to be wrong about. That's fine with me. I'm happy to be wrong about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been nuts. Like it's unreal. And then when the Cubs sweep them, I'm like, whoa, we swept the Astros. It's like, oh, it was just the Astros.
These aren't your
Like
dad's.
it's hard. Like I get it. Yeah. These aren't your 37-year-old Astros. Okay, these are your 38-year-old
That's
Astros.
right.
Okay, these these are your Astros from when you were 25. All right, this is different. Yeah, it's just, but the Astros are just like so bad. Like they're so bad. The Angels are like, ooh, we're not the worst.
Ooh.
Like that's how bad the Astros are. But no, I'm looking at these teams. AL East on like the AL East is the most that in the NL Central is I'm not gonna say competitive. That's
That's
stretching it,
that's
but
offensive.
but the AL East is like competitive-ish. Um, but honestly, like I'm looking one team that I've been following, and I wish they would just blow it up already. Is the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yeah.
Just this is enough. I'm Vlad Jr. Vladito told us 4 years ago that that was just the trailer. Was this a trailer to a really bad D-rated rom-com? Because it sucks. This movie sucks.
I was
I
gonna
feel like I'm
say,
watching Madam Web.
is Vladimir Guerrero actually like mid and actually garbage? Because he had one good year where he was like in the conversation for MVP, and then he's been
Yeah.
not done anything before or after that.
Yeah, no, he had a stretch last year where he was like, okay, well maybe he's figured it out. Um,
You mean like 5 games?
but I it wasn't 5 games. No. No, I mean he's been starting to heat up the last the last um the last month or so, really the last 2 weeks. So maybe this brings him out of his slump. I think with the I think what the crazy part is just his power is dipped.
Yep.
Like he's got, I mean, it's just not there. Like he was crushing balls left and right, and then after that, nothing. So, but you got to look at, I mean, Toronto, I mean, Bichette's playing well below what he should be playing. Vladito's playing well below what he should play in. I don't know what's going on with Alec Manoah. I, I, I honestly couldn't tell you what's going on with him. Like he was rookie of the year candidate, and then now he can't pitch worth a damn. George Springer has been
Oh, I think the biggest winner out of Toronto being trash is Shohei, considering the fact that I honestly think Shohei was Toronto was top two on his list of teams to go to, and it couldn't have been the best decision he made was not going to Toronto. He could have gone anywhere else, but the fact that he didn't go to Toronto was the best thing he could have done for his career. It was, well, yeah, he's killing it with the Dodgers. The Dodgers are kind of back to what we expect them to do, which is kill it in the regular season, and we'll pause in playoffs because we don't know what the hell the Dodgers do in the playoffs. But right now, the Dodgers are doing really good. So Shohei right now looks like the genius when on his business side, and he's killing it with the Dodgers. There's nothing much else to say, but just like I've said previously, similar to what Boston is, Boston can kill it in the regular season, but I judge Boston in the same way that I judge the Dodgers in the fact that I don't care what you do in the regular season because really what I care about is what you do in the postseason. And right now, I mean, we'll just have to wait to see. We don't know what the Dodgers will be in the playoffs. We're still waiting on JB. I don't know what's going on with him, but yeah,
Can you hear
we're
me?
baseball season. The baseball season, in a way, has captivated me more than I expected it to this year. Maybe part of that is because of the fact that the Yankees are actually relevant early on and not garbage and then figuring it out later. But I claimed before the season started, I claimed that I don't really follow baseball until really the All-Star break. 4th of July is like the official, quote unquote, official start of the season for me. because that's when teams really get hot. They really figure out what trajectory they're on. They're figuring out if they if they're going to be competitive or if they're going to trade all their assets away and kind of rebuild for the next year. But this year seems a little bit different because of the fact that teams that are going to be competitive seems like they're going to stay competitive. I don't think the teams are really going to have much of a roller coaster, if you could call it a roller coaster, for having hot streaks and low points in the season. Besides the A's is the one point that has to be the one off for that statement that I just made, because everybody, including JB and myself, I'm sure, expects the A's to come down from their clouds of good, and they'll probably, like I said, trade away their closer because they don't know any better. But the A's will come back to reality, and the A's will probably still finish last in the division. There's no if or but about it. The A's have not been trying to build a competitive team. The A's have been trying to really just line the pockets of their owner and move to a market that will continue to bring the owner revenue, regardless of the quality of baseball that you're putting on the field. And nothing better for that organization than to move to a city that is 100% based off of entertainment and not really quality. So it seems like he won't he's gonna get what he wants out of that. I was just wrapping up your segment. I was telling our viewers how the fact that the Toronto Blue Jays are not very good, the biggest winner out of that is Shohei Ohtani, considering the fact that he was the Toronto was like his top 2 out of destinations, and he couldn't have made a better decision
Yeah.
when he went to LA.
Yeah. No, and like we'll never know if he was actually serious about Toronto. We will never know that. That could have been some weird smokescreen. Like the brass in LA was like, yo, we got him. But if Toronto gets a hold of him, we're in trouble. And then so like that just seems weird to me. I don't think Toronto was ever in the running to get Shohei. I just don't. It was written in the sky in the clouds that he was going to go to LA. He was going to go to Chavez Ravine. He wasn't leaving California. As much of a crap hole as that state is, he was going to stay. He was going to go play for the Dodgers. He was going to, he was going to play for the better team in LA. Toronto was never in the running. I just don't see it.
Whatever.
I just don't buy it.
That is my story, and I'm living by it because you can't prove me wrong.
I can't prove you wrong.
Exactly.
You are correct. I cannot.
Well, that'll wrap up our MLB segment. Let's jump right into our favorite segment. You want to lead us in, JB?
Yeah, I'll lead us in. All right. So our fix of 6 tonight on this episode of the pod. My first fix of 6 is Austin Rivers, his laughable comment about he could pick any 30 NBA players and that they would be able to go ahead and play in the NFL. I just don't see it happening. That is just laughably incorrect. One, because there's no you can't flop in the NFL, Austin Rivers, okay? You can't flop. All right? You can't just fall down because someone looked at you wrong or, they didn't hug you the right way. Okay? You actually got to hit people. All right? And you actually got to play the game. You can't just sit out because, you want to. Okay? The NFL is a real sport. It's where real men play. It's where actual physicality happens. And it's an actual sport where you get hurt, you know what you do? You tape it up and you go back on the court. All right? So don't give me that garbage about NBA players being able to play in the NFL. Maybe 2, maybe 3. But don't say you can pick any 30. That's just not true. My second fix of 6 is Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's comments and not buying players. Can we stop pretending that he didn't have a whole 3.5-minute clip and the thoughtful response to that answer? He was talking about buying players for most of these NIL guys get 6 figures. He's talking about not spending money 8-9 figures on one player. and to bring those guys into your locker room when you have already all Americans on one side of the ball, and then you have this imbalance where you have one player making all this money, saying, "Oh, this guy's the most important. He's making all this money." That's not what That's what Brian Kelly's trying to say. He's not sitting here. He's not trying to say that, "Oh, I don't like NIL. I'm not going to use it." So can we stop with the whole thing about uh, about Brian Kelly uh, not taking this team seriously? And then my third um, fix of six is Greg Doyle, the creepy uncle in Caitlin Clark's life who works for some obscure publication called The Star. And he's sitting there and he's just making these weird advances to Caitlin Clark. This dude needs to be done. Okay. He just needs to be gone. All right. And I know they said they banned it from Caitlin Clark's games. Okay. Well, everyone lives as if they're banned from WNBA games already because no one's going. All right. There needs to be a real consequence to this guy. This guy shouldn't have a job. He should not be allowed to sit there and say, "Oh, he's suspended for 2 weeks without pay." What is that going to do? Just give him time in his basement with the other dead bodies so he can work on his scrapbook with all the times that he thought Caitlin Clark was talking to him? No, you need to fire the man. You need to put a restraining order on him. And we just need to bury this whole thing right now, and we need to move on. This is not good for Caitlin Clark, or just in general at all. Manny, what's your fix of six?
My pick of six, first pick of six, will be the fact that they announced the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year. We hinted at the fact that Jokic just won another MVP. He's won 3 MVPs in the last 4 years, and the 1 year that he didn't win it, he replaced it with a better chip, which is the NBA championship. So kudos to Jokic for dominating the league. I'm surprised that the league has shifted so quickly from giving MVPs to the likes of Steph Curry for being ball players to the big league. That's reminding me a lot of the 90s when the bigs were dominating the league. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to him. And Gobert being Defensive Player of the Year, another 4-1, another Defensive Player of the Year. But my gripe with this is the fact that they just announced these things. What are we doing? What are we doing just announcing this on a freaking Instagram post? Why are we not making a ceremony? Make it a thing. People care about this
I
stuff.
saw this on a ticker. I saw this on a ticker during the Bruin game. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. What are we doing? It's unless I'm mistaken, and you guys don't, as the NBA doesn't give that much credit to these type of awards, make a ceremony, honor these guys as they should be in the moment that it's announced, instead of them having their own ceremony and just showing up to receive their trophy and giving a speech. So that's my first take for you. My next take: the Lakers and Phoenix have both fired their coaches in a way that I think is very, very right. Phoenix, Vrabel, my guy, I don't know what kind of career you're bound to have, but I don't think coaching is it. You got carried to a championship when you were with the Lakers, and that was all because of the fact that you had a 4-month break in between Anthony. Well, pretty much everybody. They all had a 4-month break to recover their bodies of 40-year-olds that he had on that roster. So don't give him credit for that win. And Phoenix, what you had 2 all-star players, and Beal, no disrespect to him, but he's like a 1B player, and you couldn't do anything with it. You got 49 games and no playoff games. Come on, you don't deserve a coaching job. Hopefully, you go back into the lower ranks and start rebuilding your whatever it is that you're going to be doing. So that I don't wish bad on anybody, but I'm glad that those moves happened. And lastly, Luis Arias got traded from the Marlins to the Padres. And not only did he get traded, but he also killed it in the first game after he got traded. Kudos to him for kind of putting it to them and saying, you know what, I'm not the problem, you're the problem. It's like a bad breakup. It's not me, it's you. But not only that, it's the fact that the players that they traded for were on the field while they traded them. Nathan Martorella was on second base when he got traded to the Marlins, part of that trade. So they literally pulled him off second base and told him to walk to the locker room because he was no longer part of that team. And this is the lower obviously it's not MLB level. This is one of the farm system players, but either way, how I don't know if it's humiliation, embarrassment, awkwardness, like they couldn't wait to announce that until he was at least at home or third or out something and then take him off the field. My guy Nathan, I'm sorry that you went through that, but good for him, for Luis, for having a stellar first week with his new team. And then the Marlins ended up getting blown out by the A's on the tail end of that. Just as the little cherry on top, they got blown out by the A's on the same week that they traded him away. And that is our fix of six this week.
Yeah, my favorite part about that Luis Arias trade was not only did he get called from second base, Mortarella, but watching him collect his things and try to hold them like he's a newborn mom with babies and bottles in a bag, and he's like running across the field to say goodbye to everybody. That's just
so awkward.
And he gets called in. He's like, what's going on? Why am I being pinch run for? What's happening here?
I'm pretty good.
Like, no, you got to go.
I got this, coach.
You got to go.
It's like that elementary school kid whose backpack just randomly like gives up and he has to carry his books, all his textbooks and all his crap in his. That's the level of respect that they gave him during that.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap up with teasing a new segment that we'll be introducing beginning next pod. And this segment is going to be multi-episodic, meaning it's going to take hopefully all the way us until the beginning of the NFL season. And this segment is going to be the Mount Rushmore of NFL football teams, meaning we will spin a wheel and there will be two teams that are selected. We will each pick one team from whatever's selected. Like say it's the Falcons and the Patriots. One of us take the Falcons, one takes Patriots, and with no research at all, none, we are going to give our Mount Rushmore of that team, of that organization. And we are going to, it could be a player, a coach, an owner, a GM. It could be a fan. It could be anything. The top four of that franchise of all time in the organization. And we're going to do this without research. We're not going to have any idea of what we're going to get. And we're just going to come from the top of our heads. And I'm looking forward to it because I enjoy being critical of other people's responses, but I love even more people being critical of my own responses. And so I'm looking forward to our listeners chiming in and giving their takes as to well, what about this guy? How the hell did you forget about him? I don't understand. And so I'm actually looking forward to it. So, but this is going to take us 16 episodes. So this will take us 4 months.
That's right. We'll go through all of them. JB,
so we'll wrap
what
up
are
today.
You drinking?
Yeah, I'm drinking a 10-year Lafroig. I'm a big. I love a Scotch that is peaty. This is delicious. It tastes like a campfire going on in my mouth.
That doesn't sound good.
It tastes wonderful. Yeah. What are you drinking?
It's not much. I am drinking. I'm bringing back an old one. I think I may have drank this last episode. I don't know. I have a few bottles that I have going on. I'm drinking Old Forester 100 proof bourbon, straight Kentucky bourbon. It's good.
Nice.
It's good.
All right.
The aftertaste gives a little bit of a smack in the mouth.
Forrest Whitaker.
That's the way I described. Yeah. The fireball kind of taste where you just like leave a little burn, but it's good. It's a good sipper. So I can't complain about the fact that it's easy to take down, and then you just have to like get past a little bit of a burn. But if you're
Yeah.
drinking whiskey and you're not expecting a burn, you're wrong. So,
Yeah.
what are you smoking?
And I'm smoking with a number 99 sweet stick. I don't know who makes this, but I went to my favorite spot, Padres. I was buying cigars, and they had a bag of 5 for $15. These long Churchills. I was like, yeah, I'll try them. They're actually pretty damn good. I mean, I really enjoy these. I don't know who makes them. I don't know what the origin story is, but they're good. Yeah.
Is there no tag or anything on those? Doesn't look like there's a
It
tag.
just says number 99 sweet stick. That's it. It
Nice.
doesn't come with a tab, nothing. It's just
Running it
on the
rogue.
wrapper,
I
number
like it.
99 sweet stick. Who knew?
We don't want you to know who we
Who
are,
knows?
just to enjoy our cigars. That's the
Yeah.
way to live.
Yeah. Well, Manny, where can our listeners find us?
Check us out on YouTube, Box Scores and Bourbon. We are on episode 13, folks. Episode 13 right now. Check us out on Spotify, Box Scores and Bourbon, and we have a continuous TikTok where we're pretty active on there. We post content. We'll have conversations on there. If you're more about the TikTok life, we are on BSB Sports 24. So we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, and we are on TikTok. And we can't wait to hear your takes on our topic.
Yeah. Love it. All right, folks. Enjoy the weekend. Be good. We will see you next week.
Cheers. Empty glass. Enjoyed my whiskey, but cheers anyways. See you next time.